So welcome, Michal. Today
Hi.
we're going to talk about your book, Judging Noah. And so the first thing that I have as a question is, how did you even discover this story?
It's really an amazing story, and most people don't know it's out there. It's actually right in the Bible, and I didn't know anything about it, but I have a friend who's a biblical scholar, and she said, "Oh, it's about the daughters of Slavchad." And I said, "Who?" And she explained that they were the very first example in print in the world that we know of women saying, hey, we deserve rights of inheritance too. And this was like 3,500 years ago. So I delved more into it, and I just thought, wow, this is a really incredible story to tell.
So what really inspired you that you really needed to tell their story?
They took power for themselves, and they said, we don't have any brothers, and if we don't do something about our situation, we could end up as slaves. So there was a little bit of impetus there.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of a synopsis of the story. Just give us a little teaser.
Okay, so very, very briefly, and you can find this in Numbers 27, 1 through 12. There was this whole many levels of judgeships, just like there is today, circuit court, and up to the Supreme Court. There was back then too. So they said, okay, we're going to go through all these levels of judges. And that's what happens in the story. They do go through all these levels, but then, you have a lot of family interplay and jealousy, and kind of like, well, no one pays attention to me, the middle daughter. So I had a lot of fun with the characters themselves, because they're each of them very, very specific.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, now I'm not going to say what happens, but in the end, they reach all the levels of judges, and she gets the one who's driving this issue gets accused of being a witch, and bad things happen to her. And in the end, it goes up to Moses, and Moses goes, well, I don't know. So then, of course, Moses asks God, and there we have it. I'm not saying more.
Well, we'll have to wait to find out what God said, right? So, did you actually go to the location to do any research?
Oh, I know those locations very, very well. But I've been on a camel trip and camped in the desert in Israel. And there's a scene between Noah, who is kind of like the hero, and her husband. There's a scene between her husband and her husband's friend where they're in what's called the Grand Canyon of Israel. It's very deep and just filled with all sorts of geological, fantasticorical things. And I set a few of the scenes down there because I just thought, oh my gosh, this is such a cool place.
I did not even know it existed. That's the joy of doing that location trip.
No, I truly believe in, if you can manage it, to travel and kind of surround yourself with the scenery that you're writing about.
Yes, I did that for my book. And I learned things that I would not have known if I did not go there. What are you working on now?
I love mysteries. And so I decided, a historical mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm writing a historical mystery trilogy. It's set in, very specifically, 1570 and 1571, so late Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
The first book is mostly in Venice. The second book is mostly in Istanbul. And the third book is mostly in Split, or Spalato, as it was called back then, on the Dalmatian coast in Croatia.
Oh, fun. Those are
I
all
know.
good places to go visit.
I have to visit.
Yes, exactly.
But it's really interesting figuring out a mystery and all the little parts, and the kind of the side mysteries, because you have subplots coming in from the sides. It's really like putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
I'm sure it is.
And you don't know what the picture looks like.
Well, hopefully you know who did it.
I do.
So tell me though, why specifically did you pick those years, 1570 and 1571?
One of my sleuths is the sales representative, because shipping was a big deal back then, of Rabbi Isaac Luria, who is, have you heard of Kabbalah?
Is that a religion?
Well, it's part of Judaism, but it's also kind of this mystical, story-filled thing. And it's also part of the whole concept of repairing the world. So that's what one of my heroes is doing. I'm going to repair the world, do good, and find the bad guys, and all of that. And that's when, after 1571, Luria dies. And I wanted to kind of keep it compact.
Okay.
And I think, oh my gosh, we are in the age of technology and all this new stuff here and new stuff there. It's not even close to the new stuff that was going on in the Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was new stuff in technology, in art, in architecture, in literature, everywhere.
When is your first book coming out? The trilogy.
I'm on draft 4, and from there, then it goes to agents and publishers.
Well, good luck. We will have to come back with you and find out when you finally have a pub date and a title. Do you have a title?
Oh, no. I've had like 5 or 6 titles. They're all like, no.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I find titles really hard.
They are hard. I would agree with that. And like with mine, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden one day there was.
Oh, can you send that little "there it was" to me?
I don't know. I don't think that is for sale. And it doesn't happen every time. Well, thank you, Michal, for joining me today. And we'll look forward to talking to you again when we get that mystery out.
All right. Well, that'll be a mystery to me too. But no, I'm working on it, right? In fact, that's where I'm going back to right now.
Awesome. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thanks.